Cool.
So did you say that it can create let's say 30 page?
Yes, there's strategies for doing longer documents.
Oh.
So yes, I think as we go further along, I'll show you this, but there's ways that you can have ChatGPT understand that you're going to ask it a sequence of multiple tasks. And you say, and it can, because there's limits on how much it can output at one time, it could do about roughly maybe 6 to 8 paragraphs before it hits the max of how much it can output. There's other tools that can output much more text, but there's ways where you can ask it to output, give me the first half of my chapter, and now you can have it sequence through each part of it, that then it doesn't max out how much it can create at one time, but then you can move it through each step. I was like, all right, now we're working on chapter 2. Chapter 2 starts this way, and it will output each section that way. So you can structure it in a way that it follows along the path that you want it to. So you won't be able to just click a button and it just creates 8 chapters, but you can do it in sequence where it does it in a successful way. And I can show you that here. All right, so, but for maybe yours, what's the topic of your?
I'll give it away. Let's just say healing.
Okay. All right. So for all those who are following along, write a 30-second script on healing from a bad relationship. And how our new book will help you recover 10 times faster. So first we want to give ChatGPT what we want it to do. The next thing we want to do is want to give it what format we want it to be in. So because we are going to be using the output of this to be able to put it into another tool to create the audio, I wanted not to include any narration notes or like, put a picture here in this part in the scene and then in minute 2 do this. All I want is the text. So I'm going to tell ChatGPT, only give me the text. Don't give me any additional notes. Or you can put in whatever you're working on, or you can put in the same thing. But whatever your goal or topic or business idea is, you can start typing that. So where it says write a 30-second script on, you can put whatever your topic is.
Mhm. If this is your first time working with this, sometimes it's best as a learner just to sit and watch and take notes on what it does, because Marcus is going to work multiple examples and you'll have a chance for examples. So if you want to just watch and see how it's done the first time, that's a good learning tool.
So yes, but if you have an idea where I have on healing to help recover 10 times faster, if you're in real estate, help me write a script on selling homes in Baltimore and southern Baltimore. It could be whatever your business idea is. You can plop it in that part. When creating the script, only include the text for my voiceover. So please leave out any notes. And I'm going to click enter. I'm going to move this out the way. So you'll see now it's generating my voiceover. It didn't really listen to what I told it to do, So it still included a bunch of notes, but that's fine. We can copy and paste that part out. But you'll see it start based on my prompt, which is write a 30-second script on healing for bad relationship, coming out of bad relationship, and I'm writing a book. It generated a script. Have you ever experienced the pain of a bad relationship, the heartbreak, the tears, the feelings of being lost? So now it's starting to build a compelling voiceover. Well, we have a great news for you. Oh, I should have gave it the title of the book, so then it'll actually have something to talk about, but it came up with one. Healing Hearts, A Guide for Recovery. Sounds like a good book to me. A transformative book designed to help you heal from bad relationships. Hey, this actually sounds like a good book. With powerful strategies, practical exercises, and real life stories. So this is how AI works, or generative AI works, where it's taking all the knowledge it's learned about relationship books or relationship books related to healing, and now it's based upon my prompt of asking for a script, is use this understanding of that topic to generate a response. And that's how these technologies works, is it takes its understanding of the topic that you asked it about, and then it's develop a unique response tailored to the question you asked it. Is that clear? I want to make sure that part makes sense. All right. So now that we have our script, I think that feels pretty good. Did anyone else try to create their own script uniquely to their thing?
Okay, now.
How does it look? Does it look pretty good?
Very nice.
It looks good. So yeah, this is where you can get really good. If you're not really happy with it, you can tell ChatGPT, and actually I'll show you, because actually I would like to see if I can tell it to exclude having the voiceovers. Please rewrite and remove any notes referencing music. I only want the script and also make it more fun. Sometimes you don't always have to put very cohesive things together. It figures it out. It did a little better job. So it's got rid of all the notes around like the music, play music here and things like that. So I'm only getting the voiceover part. I should also tell it to get rid of the label, but now I'm getting, it's changed the name of my book now, but that's cool. This amazing book is your ticket to a speedier recovery, like 10 times faster. Say goodbye to your gloomy days and hello to a fresh start. Inside Breakup Bounce Back. I think I like that title better. So he's even changed the name of the book, but I added to make it more fun, and it's revised the script for me to make the script more fun for a video. So does that make sense so far? Everyone's following along? All right, so.
Could you show us a comparison of this is the basic, right?
Yeah.
So could you use the same prompt and then put it into
Yeah.
a version so they can see how it looks?
Yes, definitely. Let me show you. That's a really great point. Let me pull up my. So yeah, this is my account, which I'm using the paid version of ChatGPT. Let me supersize this. Ignore some of this stuff here. That's a Chrome extension I'm using to add some templates to it, but here's the exact same prompt that was using ChatGPT 3.5, and then there's version 4.0 that's available. So it's an improved version of ChatGPT. So let's see. Are you tired of carrying the weight of bad relationships on your shoulder? Reclaim yourself healing from heartbreak with powerful insights, practical exercises, proven strategies. Don't let a bad relationship define you. Take control of your healing process. So you see it's slightly better in terms of like the written copies. And then also it gets a little better at handling more complex requests with using ChatGPT 4. And then if you are using paid, you get access to plugins, which give even expanded capacity. So you can use, there's some other plugins like, particularly even for doing the voiceover, there's one plugin that allows you to ask it to create a video and it actually generates the video and you get a link once it's done. So there's some really neat plugins that are out there. If those are interested, I did a webinar about 2 weeks ago highlighting a bunch of the plugins. So if you are interested in upgrading to the Plus version and then getting access to plugins, I went through a bunch of really useful plugins related to business. So I'll share a video to that for those who are interested.
Question, when I wrote the script, I noticed the wording is similar to what I wrote on my website. It's possible that they access the business and kind of base their text from that, because I know some things here is a little bit the same wording that my business online.
Yeah, so right now ChatGPT is only aware of the internet going back to, I believe, March of last year. So if you did have some information on your site, depending on how well your site indexes on Google, so there may be chances that it also was able to scan some historical information on your business. But the other thing too is because it's learned a lot about different topics, it may be using a lot of the frequent best terms or best practices in terms and like that. So that is the advantage of the tool like this, is that it does have a lot of information, a lot of knowledge. So it can sound like it knows a lot about your business, but it's just using frequently used terms related to that topic.
I have a question. Hello, thank you. I'm
Mhm.
sorry.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for doing this. And so I want to know from an equity perspective, like we're talking about data.
Mhm.
So for instance, like she asked a good question, like something outside, like is this a possibility that is through that and will help? Yes, that's definitely. My question is, from an equity perspective, if we're writing stuff, we're talking about equity, black, whatever, like how much of a bias is that going to give us? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I get, yeah, there's two parts to your question. I think the first part, when it comes to ChatGPT and privacy, so there's two parts. There's ChatGPT where you're messaging with the chat interface. So they already have in their terms what their rules are when it comes to the information they collect. So there's actually, this is an important point. So when you click on, I'm going to have things floating in here that's blocking. But when you click on the little three dots in the settings, there you have a few, you see there's this data control section. So there's an area here where where it says chat history and training. You're able to turn this off because you're able to tell ChatGPT, I don't want the things that I am communicating with you to be used to train and improve ChatGPT. So you can disable that feature. If you are concerned about whatever you're chatting is going to be fed into the ocean of data that goes into ChatGPT, so you can actually disable that feature if you're very concerned about the information that you're sharing. But there is still another caveat to that, which is because of safety, ChatGPT as a company can still access the chat if they're concerned with the things that are being messaged on the platform. So for safety procedures, they do have access to say if people are putting I want to do something very dangerous with ChatGPT, they can go in and monitor that chat to see if someone's doing something unintentional or inappropriate with the platform. So they can access chats for safety measures, but then they can do that up to like 6 months if they need to like review a chat if it's something inappropriate. But you can disable it. You can disable the chat there under the settings feature, but just in general, if you are worried about what you communicate, what I tend to do, particularly for business partners or clients, is you can ask it to help you write a script you can make up a name of a business. It doesn't have to be yours if you're looking just to get the script. So you can say, make up a script for ABC company. And so maybe you don't put your company name, you just put ABC company. So at least if you are worried about, is this going to be used and stored in the history of ChatGPT forever, you can just make up the company that you're using as the example that you're putting into ChatGPT. So those are ways that if you really want to circumvent the worry or concern around, hey, how's this information being used or stored? You can just insert another company into the request that you make. So then it's not your company name inside of the thing. But also to your next question of like bias, there's a couple of ways to address bias. So because ChatGPT is not connected to the internet, there's other tools that are connected to the internet that allow you to get responses back. Bing, the Microsoft Bing allows you to use ChatGPT but connect it to the internet. And that allows you to say, hey, when you're creating my response, go to this website because I want you to make sure you use terminology or terms that are relevant for the community or the thing that I want you to create content about. And that makes sure that, so then to your point, ChatGPT has been trained by a lot of humans, but sometimes those humans have their own bias. And so the way that you can circumvent that is you can, tell it to reference a site, or you can give it content to start with. So you can say, here, ChatGPT, here is how I reference and talk about my topic. Here is 5 or 6 paragraphs on the way I talk about my market, my customer. Use this to inspire how you create content for me. So that will also help you reduce any bias or how it generates the content to make sure it's appropriate for your audience or customer. So that's another way to do it. Yeah. But it's a very great question. All right, cool. So now we have our script. And then we have an example of using GTP4. So I'm going to take, I'm going to close this tab because I don't need it. So we're going to now go to another site. So we now use ChatGPT to get the text that we want. I'm going to take you to another platform to be able to generate the voiceover. I'm going to show you first what it does, and then we'll go ahead and insert our script for our video. So we want to go to a website called 11labs.co. So 11 Labs. So if you're on Google, you can probably just type in Google 11 Labs. But what we're going to do once we get here, you'll be able to, a lot of these tools are always changing their things. So we're like, by the time I present on them, they've like changed the way you go through the setup. But you should be able to create a free account, as well as, I believe if they haven't changed this, you can still create the voice without having to do the full sign up process. Exactly. So you're already jumping ahead of me, which is you can take your script, you can plug it in, you can select the type of voice that you want to use, and it's going to create a voiceover using your script. So I'm going to let me pull up. I'll pull up an example of one that we did at our last one, because I think it came out pretty good. Let's find that. I want to pull it out because so we did one for, I think it was a real estate company. This is still a real estate one. All right, now this is for
dealing with property damage is stressful, and the insurance claims process can add to the confusion. How do you understand the repair estimate provided by your insurance company?
So all that was done by just putting the text into the field and then click generate. So I'm going to go back to ours, because the goal of this, we're going to create our synthesized voice. And so now we don't have to go hire a professional voiceover actor or even try to be our own voiceover actor. We can just take the script that we want, plug it into this tool, and it's going to allow us to quickly, in a few seconds, create a really polished voiceover for our video that we're about to create. So I'm going to I'm going to supersize my screen so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to go grab the text that we created for our video. Yeah, so you're able to, you'll see here, there's, maybe move this out the way. So you'll see there's about 8 to 9 different variations of voices and styles that you can pick from. I think about 4 at each, like 4 men, 4 women. If you don't like the ones that are there, you actually can add your own voice. So by feeding it a few snippets of your own voice and uploading it, it can now clone your voice. So then it's actually you in the voiceover. There's some pros and cons of that. There's definitely, and I think in a bigger picture around AI, as regulations become, there's regulations to catch up with the technology. There's definitely bad ways. People are already starting to use tools like this. And so definitely even, I know even a few months ago, there was this big scam going around where people would, because obviously you put your voice out on Instagram and Facebook and other places, they were cloning people's voices and doing spam calls to then try to like hey, I need you to send me $100. And it sounded like your mom or it sounded like your brother. They just cloned their voice and then like send a text audio file or something like a text message with the audio. And so it can be for those who will do bad with these tools, there are people who will do bad. And so the industry is starting to figure out ways to, even like the image creation stuff that we'll show you, they're hiding ways to show that things are AI generated inside the data of the image that you create. So then if someone ever needs to go back and track that someone created this fake image of maybe of you doing something bad, and now they want to be like, hey, Marcus was stealing a car, look at the picture of Marcus stealing a car. You can show that it's AI generated hidden in the data. So they're finding ways to start to protect the world against people looking to do bad with these tools, but definitely there's definitely ways that this stuff can be used in bad ways. So, but yes, if you do want to clone your own voice in terms of like business, for me, there's times where I want to like create more content for my business, but I don't have time to like sit down and record all these things. I'll use this tool to like create a quick snippet to use for a social media post. So that could be ways where you can use it in appropriate ways that are less scary. But yes, but and thinking about maybe for like the book that you're writing, maybe instead of you spending hours recording it, you can just put in the script for the book, put your own voice in, and it's like create my or audio book.
Yeah.
And so it saves you a bunch of time of recording. And what's nice if you don't like a certain part, you just delete it and run it again, and that saves you a ton of time.
How do you go about creating new voice and show?
Yeah, so like right here, you need to like you can like use their tool to like actually like talk into the computer and give it enough a long enough version of you talking for you to do it, or you can actually just upload a couple of like files of you talking. So maybe if you already like done things on YouTube, you can just upload audio that you've already done where your voice is already recorded, that then it can use it to have its AI train their tool to be able to synthesize your voice. But we'll just for today, we'll use the ones that are already built in. One thing you can do, and I'll show you how to do that next, is I think I pasted in the script that we created here today. So I'm just going to delete. So one of the important things that you want to do is you want to get rid of anything that's not the transcript that you want it to say. So if there's any notes, any labels, it's going to say those things. So where it says background music fade out, it's going to say background music fade out. So you want to delete all of those things and only keep in the text that you want it to say. Actually, did I get all of it? All right, cool. So it looks like I got all of it. All right, so I'm going to take a quick look at it. There are some additional settings in here. So you'll see if you click on voice settings, it says stability. So you can change, if you leave it right in the middle, it's going to be a nice, slow and steady pace. And when it generates it, but if you want it to be a little bit more fun or a little less predictable, you can move the scale around for it to add a little bit more variation to the output of the voice. So I'm going to crank it up or turn it down so it adds a little bit more variation in speech when it generates it. So let's give it a go. I'm going to pick, let's see, I'm going to pick Ellie as the output. And the other advantage of this tool as well is that I think in the paid version, you can I forgot how many languages, but you can also do it in different languages. So if you are looking to tap into like, different communities, or you want to do it in Spanish and French and a couple different languages, you can figure out now you can do that for advertisements or things that you're trying to post out on social media. So that's another plus of this, is that now you can tackle multiple languages and things that you're trying to produce. All right, cool. So I'm going to create the one for our relationship.
Are you tired of carrying the weight of a bad relationship on your shoulders? It's time to break free and find healing. Introducing our groundbreaking new book, Reclaiming the Self, Healing from Heartbreak. With powerful insights, practical exercises, and real-life stories, this book will guide you on your journey to recovery. Discover the keys to unlocking your inner strength and rebuilding your self-esteem. Our proven strategies and expert advice will help you heal not just twice or thrice, but 10 times faster than you ever thought possible. Say goodbye to pain and hello to a brighter future. Don't let a bad relationship define you. Take control of your healing process and embark on a transformative journey with Reclaiming the Self, Healing from Heartbreak. Order your copy today and start your path to a happier, healthier you.
I think I could sell that.
I have-
Sign me up for that. But yeah, so that's again, and I guess in what, like 10 minutes, we now have a script, we have audio,
Right.
and then has everyone who are working on their own projects, have you gotten this far? All right, so the other thing here, now that we have our audio, we need to download it. Yeah.
Okay, so
So there are other tools that allow you to, simulate conversation. Yeah, so probably I would either use this tool and just create this. You can actually so for example, if it's like, are you doing like a podcast or is it conversational or how are you trying to, what kind of?
So
Yeah. Yeah, so what I would do in cases where you have like multiple voices, you would generate the different parts of script, because then you would have in the script like, Megatron says this and Optimus Prime says this. You can create the audio of each part of the script separately, but then you'll need to go into a separate tool to put them all together.
Okay.
Yeah. One is called Descript. Descript is a good one, because what's nice about that one is if you can actually modify the text. When we have our break, I'll show it to you, because it's a pretty useful tool. Particularly, you can start easily putting all the files together, and if you still don't like the way something sounds, you can just change it by changing the text, and it changes the audio. So you can kind of like edit the audio without having to redo the audio all over it. So it's a really neat tool for editing multiple pieces of audio and putting them all together.
Also, what can you also do your own voice? So for me, I would do my two voices.
Yeah.
So it would be different than actually
Yeah. Yeah, and even with this tool, you could actually put your own voice in, but then have this tool change the sound of your voice. To then also, like a lot of times my son listens to a lot of audiobooks, is the same voice actor, but he just changes the inflections on his voice. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So yes, oh, that's 11 Labs. So once you pay their like paid version, you can change. Yeah, you can change the voice and change it. Even that's some of the basic settings you get for free. You're able to kind of change the quality or the inflections in the voice. But then in their paid versions, you can really modify the way the audio gets generated in the next version app. But now that you've downloaded it, we're going to go to our third tool, but this would be the tool that will generate our video for us. So I'm going to pull that site up. So we're going to go to I wish this was, I'm going to zoom it in. So then the screen is viewable. So the website is augxlabs.com. augxlabs.com. So I'm going to log in to show you the process. So let's go to click on the join the beta. This one's free. So all the tools we're using today are free. But then that's why I always do. Yeah, all of them are free. And then if you want all the advanced features, they're all like 10 or 15 bucks a month if you want the fancy features. But all the tools I'll be showing today are absolutely free to use. Yeah, exactly. It'll get you. You can see already we're pretty dangerous without spending any money.
The ones that you're showing is just for like doing narration scripts and stuff. What about like you mentioned something about like the presentation or something like that earlier. What websites do these also do that?
There's other tools, and I can highlight even the presentation I'm showing here today is using a tool like this presentation was all done using AI. Like
Yes.
I always.
So where do you go to do that? Because that's my concept.
Yeah, so this one is gamma.app.
Hold on. Give me a second.
I was like, can we go back to that?
Yeah.
Go back to that, like,
Yeah.
Gamma.app,
Gamma.app.
APP or?
Yeah, APP.
Thank you. That's all I need.
Yeah.
So the one you want us to go into.
Oh, yes. It's called
It's called AUG.
AUGX.
So I did that, but my screen was different.
Are you logged in already?
Oh, okay. I don't believe.
So you have the login yet?
Yes, you gotta click join beta.
Okay.
And then, actually, I think because I'm still logged in,
We need.
you'll just need to sign up and create an account, but I'll go,
Okay.
let me just log out because yeah, mine looks different because I'm already logged in. So let me log out so then we're all following along at the same pace.
Yes.
Yep, so you'll just need to click sign up. All right, and let me know when you get to this screen. Uh-huh. Oh, this one, and this was actually going to be really useful for sales because you'll be able to create kind of sales videos. And actually this script kind of feels kind of salesy. And so, but this allows you to create video really. So if you have the audio file, you just upload the audio file and it creates the video for you. So that's what I want to walk you through, but it also creates videos that then also can be translated for social media. So it can create them in portrait style. So if you want to create YouTube shorts or Instagram videos, TikTok, you can use the same approach, create a script. Hey, ChatGPT, help me create a script for selling more t-shirts. It creates a script for your t-shirts, you create the audio for it, and then you go to this tool, you upload your audio, it creates the video, you put it on Instagram, you put it on TikTok, you put it on YouTube. And yeah. Yeah. That's the one.
Okay, so I don't.
You click there, what's that button? This one. All right, we there? All right. I'm gonna supersize because their screen's a little small. I'm gonna hit create and then upload. So wherever you downloaded that file we just created, you want to upload it here now. If you downloaded it, so if you created the audio that oh, okay. Oh, it's all good. It's all good. So, but you can, but actually, yeah, but the other thing you can do too, for those who didn't do the audio, if you log into this tool, you can either type in the thing that you want it to do, so it can still create a video for you without the audio. But it's nice. I like the audio that comes out of 11 Labs because it's just much better than most other tools in terms of creating a human sounding voice. And these other tools sound very robotic. 11 Labs will give you one that sounds like a real person. But you can use this tool to create a voiceover, but it just won't sound as good as what we just produced using the other tool. So you can upload your audio file here. So we're going to go find the one we just created.
Hello there, Al. How are you?
And then once you upload your file, you just need to give it a keyword. So this is about relationships.
So if you don't have one, you say you can just type in something?
Yes, you can. When you hit create,
Okay,
and then it's gonna pop up 4 options. So yeah,
okay,
or you can use prompt. So there's one that says prompt.
okay. Prompt?
And so there you can just tell it to write, it can write a script based upon you saying, hey, I want to create a real estate video for selling a new property in DC. And it will generate a script based upon your request. And then you need to, right here where it says you can give it an optional keyword that will help it, because it will help it understand the context of what the video is. So I put relationship as the important keyword for this video. Yeah. Oh, you're, so here, do you see next to this little down arrow, there's this arrow, this button here? There's a little button next to the player. There's a little down arrow. And then those who are on Zoom, you can drop in the chat or you can jump on and let me know if you're following along or if you have questions.
You cannot find yourself by going into the past. You can find yourself by coming into the present.
I'm sorry. Voices are so hard.
All right. Did we find the download? Yeah. Oh, all right, let's give it.
So then we need to get that segment.
That's the power. That's weird. I'm not sure why. That's. I'm not sure why it's weird. Yeah, that one's, we made it to it. Yeah. Oh, for the, have you uploaded? So we can create. Yeah. All right. Cool. Yep. Yes, yes, definitely. Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, so we'll definitely make sure I'm recording, so and then we can share the link to this. All right, so I'm going to zoom out. So this is what you should see if everything went well. After you upload it, it takes it a few minutes to generate the video. Yeah, it should generate a. Yeah.
Picture a bustling preschool, the heart of which.
Oh wait, this is the wrong one. This is clicked on the wrong one. Where's the one I just created? Oh, you know what? Actually, I didn't hit upload. Let me go. Upload mines. Thought I hit upload.
Did you save it to like your desktop or?
Yeah, I just downloaded it to my desktop. All right, so now it's generating my video. I must have then hit the button here. So now it's taking my audio, converting it into a script that it's using to be able to put together a sequence of images or videos that matches the script that I gave it. So it's all doing that dynamically. So we'll give it a second here. It usually takes 1 to 2 minutes. But again, this could be, once we're done, we will now have a video that we've created a script for, we create audio for, and then now that we have the video, once it's done, we can make edits. And then if you want to put it on YouTube, if you want to put it on your company's website, if you want to put it on social media, and now you have a flow that you could do for free using the free tools that now you can put a bunch of ways to promote your business idea or your app, whatever you're working on, in ways that aren't using your own face, and you're able to do this to help grow your business. So this, I'm really excited about tools like this. So now it's done. I think it took maybe 2 minutes of me rambling. Yep. So yeah, now that it's created, let me have all these things here. Let's see. So go to zoom out. So you can see the X. There we go. All right.
Are you tired of carrying the weight of a bad relationship on your shoulders? It's time to break free and find healing. Introducing our groundbreaking new book, Reclaiming the Self, Healing from Heartbreak. With powerful insights, practical exercises, and real-life stories, this book will guide you on your journey to recovery. Discover the key to unlocking your inner strength and rebuilding your self-esteem. Our proven strategies and expert advice will help you heal not just twice or thrice, but 10 times faster than you ever thought possible. Say goodbye to pain and hello to a brighter future. Don't let a bad relationship define you. Take control of your healing process and embark on a transformative journey with Reclaiming the Self, Healing from Heartbreak. Order your copy today and start your path to a happier, healthier you.
It's done. But that's how you put all these tools together in a really productive way. And so yeah, that's the power of these tools. So now, yeah, there's a few other options. So we can turn on the text labels or captions. So when it plays the video, you can read.
Are you tired of carrying the weight of a bad relationship? Are you tired of carrying the weight of a bad relationship on your shoulders?
So can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
On the prompt piece, I mean, you said they can actually write the script for you.
Yeah.
So how do you do that? I mean, because I know you did it in the beginning, but
Yeah.
like, what do you use to get them to narrate what you want them to?
Yeah. So
I mean, from this one.
oh, from this one? Okay. Yeah.
So we can tell you're responding to somebody, but we cannot hear anything she's saying. If you can repeat the question.
Okay. Yes. The question is, how do you create video just using this video tool, using their prompt feature? So we're going
Instead
of going to ChatGPT. Yeah. So we're going to go to create. And then they have two options. One, we can just give it text, or we can use their prompt tool. So here we can type in, help me write a narration about real estate, and keep going to that. Real estate and selling properties in Washington, D.C. And so then you click generate script. So now it's going to inside this tool.
But you said real estate, okay, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so then now it's created that script for me directly in this tool. The only thing, the reason why we did in ChatGPT is that we get a better tool that allows us to make changes. So if we didn't like it, we can go back and tell to change different sections. This tool is not really built for making a bunch of edits in it, but if you want to do something quick and dirty, then it may just be easier just to do it directly in this tool. Yeah.
Not what we have, but what we enjoy constitutes our abundance.
Oh, what was that? Start talking as soon as that. You can actually edit the video. So once it generates it, you can actually, if there's a couple of them was like, oh, I don't really like the video it used, you can actually modify the image or the video that it used in that part of the sequence. So you can actually modify it once it's
You
created.
can go like.
Yeah,
talk about when, like, change it.
exactly.
So let me ask you two big questions. There's a big two. I have two concerns, sometimes they could be right, the picture, this picture would be like free, because they've been blocked, and then some service they block the picture.
Exactly. So this tool is using creative licenses or stock images or videos that already have creative licenses. So yeah, you're not going to run into any licensed pictures or videos. They've already taken care of that by only pulling in content or in videos that have already been approved for redistribution. So you're covered from that perspective.
Okay.
Yeah.
One question. What was the last thing about hours, can we take that out, so there's gonna be an hours?
Yes, so actually,
Because people will see that in the end.
yeah, so that's the one tricky part. That's the downside of free. They're gonna stick their branding on it, but you can, once you download it, you can just edit that part out. Yes. But yes, that's the downside. You'll just have to download it and then go to like QuickTime or whatever video editing tool you have on your computer and just delete the last part that has their logo and branding on it. But let me show you how to make some of those quick edits to your video. Yeah, exactly. You know, put a little watermark in the video. But yeah. So let me log back into that project.
So, yeah.
Mhm.
So it's- I- like, edit, like,
You could actually, I believe, let me pull up this one. If you may be able to add multiple voices, voiceovers.
I don't know. Or the second, the dialogue, that's essentially like a good second, right? I could see some images really open that. And another thing is like the dialogue. I don't know how long that would take, but I just.
I'm not sure if this tool would handle, there's other, I'm looking at I'm not sure if it'll handle multiple. Yeah, you may have to have the audio already include all the different voices in one single file versus having multiple files that you're uploaded. So yeah, it'll be better if you have one single file that has all the different voices in it already. And then you can use this tool to then automatically create all the scenes.
And how long?
Actually, I don't think I've ever maxed this out. I'm not sure what their max is because I don't think I've actually tried to do something more than like 2 to 3 minutes. But I'm sure once it gets to probably 5 or 10 minutes, you're probably maxing out how much you can generate. But I haven't actually pushed it that far to give you a really clear answer. But there's a few additional features in here before we close this one out that you can turn on. If you go to text, you can turn on closed captions. So then when it plays the video, it shows text captions on the screen. So that's really handy, particularly if you're looking to use this for social media. This is the other feature I really like about this one. In the top upper left corner of the video, there's this little icon that turns it from landscape to portrait.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to then put this on the YouTube or a YouTube short, TikTok,
You can use all of it.
you can just download it and use the same video for social media purposes. So you can just toggle from landscape to portrait.
So, besides text, you can also, I know it has to upload, you can also upload other videos, like if you want like certain things to put in the video.
Yeah.
You can upload it as well, right?
Yeah, so on Wednesday when we did the same section, the real estate person uploaded pictures and video tours she already had for a property.
Okay.
And so it generated the script. She was in Alabama and close to University of Auburn or Auburn University. So it generated a bunch of like university stock photos, and then she put in the pictures of the property, and she was able to put together a whole reel for a video in a couple of minutes for a property she wanted to
So,
showcase.
how many stuff you can upload, like in the free version?
In the free version, I don't think I've maxed it out yet, so I don't think I don't see, maybe they're gonna get smarter.
Like you have multiple.
Yeah.
You uploading,
Yeah, I don't think I've hit a limit yet, so I'm sure at some point, once they realize people are going crazy, they may start, yeah, they may put a limit
Okay.
on how many videos or photos. Exactly. But yeah, if you want to add your own images, you just go to this My Library section, and then you can upload your own pictures or
Okay.
videos. And then you can just select the video that you want to enter. And say if I didn't like a certain part of the videos, I can just go to select media and I can go in here to search. So maybe I didn't like this section.
Right.
I can go,
You can change.
I can just search book and find other pictures or videos that may be better that go along there. So maybe I like this one better.
Right, so, and this.
And now it's gonna
easy
swap,
to
yeah.
swap.
And then I can now put it in.
Introducing our groundbreaking new book, Reclaiming the Self.
Nice.
So you can easily swap out pictures or videos. So, and then the last part is just downloading the video. It takes a few minutes, but it's gonna take all that stuff and generate one single video for you. So now you can take that video, put it on YouTube, Instagram, what any other place, and yeah, I can change it to portrait and then download it. And then put that saying, now that if I have an Instagram account, download it, put it on my Instagram or Facebook or TikTok. All right, so that's our first project. We've been able to use AI to create a script, create the audio, create the video. And now you have your first video. And so now you can take the same method. Say you want to target, so we're talking about the book. Maybe you create a series of videos on different topics, and you can actually ask ChatGPT, give me a series of 10 scripts on this topic, and it will help you create a very thoughtful, you can ask, hey, create a script, 10 scripts, 30 seconds on the topic of healing, make each one unique and different, but still centered on the same topic of healing. Maybe make it a series. So then I want to create a series on TikTok or Instagram talking about how to heal over 10 videos. Each one a different subject, have it create the script for you, put it into this tool, and create the video. So now without really doing a ton of work, you've now created a series of 10 videos that you now use to promote your products, your book, or something like that.
My
Yeah.
YouTube channel, my YouTube episode is like, it takes me like.
Exactly. So that's what exactly. So for a business, for me, it helps like, you can get really good with these tools. I've planned a whole month worth of content and strategy for a client in a couple of minutes. I'm just like, give me a 30-day strategy for social media, YouTube, and marketing. Yeah.
Like with the ChatGPT, is there other thing that you don't have where like my issue is no phone number, right? Because when I do put a point it's a VOIP or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't take those type of numbers. So how do you get around that?
I would, in
So-
cases like that, there's like Microsoft Edge. So that's Microsoft
Right.
has incorporated ChatGPT into their browser. So
Okay.
you can use the chat experience that's similar to ChatGPT, but inside of the Microsoft Edge browser, and it's free. Yeah.
So you can use that and then you can basically do the same thing.
You can do the same thing. There's some advantages to the one inside Microsoft Edge because it has access to the internet when you ask for questions. So I'll do a quick example of that because it's pretty useful. But it will, you'll see, it's probably hard to see on the screen here, but there's a,
Does Chrome do it?
no, for, if you're looking for one that doesn't require like signing up and doing a whole bunch of other things, you can use the Microsoft Edge one.
Gotcha.
And then you're able to do the same kind of text prompt. So give me
Awesome.
a 30-second script for football games, whatever. But you'll see it works just like ChatGPT. And the bonus of this is that because it has access to the internet, it can go, if I said the Washington football team or what, I forgot their name now, Commanders. Yeah. I guess I should have said the Ravens. But give me the breakdown, give me a interesting fun fact of Ravens and create a 30-second script. So now it's doing the exact same thing we had with ChatGPT, but inside of the Microsoft Edge browser. With the advantage of it also has access to the internet to pull the latest information. Cool. All right. Yes, you can use these tools to generate the text for a presentation, but there are tools that work very similar to like this video tool where you ask it to create a presentation and it will create a presentation for you. Sounds like they're interested for that. So I probably will show you the one that I use. I use a lot, but it's a really great tool for just like, hey, I need a presentation on how to make AI tools more efficient, and it'll spit out 10 slides and create the content for it and throw pictures in it automatically. But we'll take a quick break because I know we're probably at the halfway point. So bio break, food, water, snacks for those who want to take a break. And then those who are on Zoom, if you want to take a break or if you want to share or ask questions, let me know. To one of the chat. But we'll take a quick pause before we start our next project. All right, and then
Yeah. Different apps. Yes. So you strip back the apps. Yeah, you see now.
oh, thank you.
How you doing?
Good, good.
Mhm.
I got the next one set up.
Okay, anything I can do to help?
I think we're good.
Yeah.
I think now there's the tech. problem.
So how many do you have online on Zoom?
6.
I didn't realize you were gonna do Zoom because I had a couple people who asked about
Oh.
it. And I should have been like, so I'll coordinate better next
Yes.
time. Great.
Yeah.
Everybody, please tell me. Yeah.
Any questions from our Zoom folks? No, we're gonna go ahead and,
Midjourney?
yes.
There. Yeah, okay. So.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I've never seen that error before. The only thing I can think of is like, maybe it's thought you like tried to do it too many times. I don't know. But yeah, I usually just like read it. But yeah. Yeah. I would try.
Yeah, I like this.
I can't think of why. The only thing I can think of, the only thing I can think of, because I'm a writer script, is there certain words? If there's a certain word or word that maybe feels inappropriate, then some of these tools are tuned to be more safe. So it could be something that's really not really inappropriate, but it's inappropriate. So yeah, just double check if there's a word in there that's like, may not like it, or if it's like a gross word, you know. Or even it sounds like a person. Yeah. Yeah. There may be, yeah, there may be a word in there that may be triggering it to be like, this is like. Yeah.
It's too risky to look at all these, teaching time. What if they go and you go to the bus and not trying to make it automatic? How can I teachers really can do that?
Yes, it can definitely, some of these tools can do it in real time. So they can language.
Because that would be a problem. We evaluate this, how they speak, but I don't know now. It's an AI.
Yeah.
So the voice is gonna be the core. We have a problem now with the voice, it's a tool to say it, not the voice too. But we can.
Yeah, they should.
I'm worried now.
Yeah, you have to go. You need to be saying.
Just say, yeah. Because we still get this an audio and phone, but now I don't even.
Yeah, because now they can type it and have it. Oh, here's my audio. Here's my video submission for my.
Wow. Yeah, I'm thinking, it's not be a problem.
Yeah, exactly, but it may be, some of these tools will have, once they get smarter, they'll have, like, I know for example, for some of the they're starting to hide it. Breadcrumbs in the file itself. That they have.
Oh,
So they're starting to be smart about this.
Because,
Yeah. Yeah, so they're definitely already, they seem to go badly slow. They're starting to create water. I'm gonna detect that.
Yes.
All right, I think we got everyone back. So we'll go ahead and move on. All right, so we're gonna go on to our next project for today, which is, I'll show you the results of it first. But the goal is a lot of people have taken advantage of the tools allow you to take text and generate art or images based upon the things that you type. And so there's a lot of opportunities, and there's a number of people who have started creating t-shirt lines or even creating their own artwork based upon the text prompts that converted into images or artwork. And so I'm going to show you a kind of crash course on how those tools work, but also how even to take those images into tools that make it really easy to even buy or sell them. So then you can, if you are interested in creating your own t-shirt line or branding your own t-shirt company, this could be the beginning steps of what that could look like. Or if you're thinking about your own company, maybe you're not trying to create a t-shirt company, maybe you want to create really catchy marketing shirts for your company that then become things that you sell or swag or merch for the thing that you're creating. So I'm going to walk you through that. Oh, thanks. So let me know if you have questions. There are going to be some new tools since this one's going to require generating art. Because there's been some recent changes in Midjourney, I'm going to use a different tool. But question before we jump into it?
Question, yeah, before we go into this, the ChatGPT, how do we generate business plan and financial statement?
Yes. So the question was, can you create business plans or kind of financial statements? Yes, you can, and it does that really well. I'm going to show you. Am I still logged into mine? Let me zoom in. Where's my ChatGPT? So actually, I recently did that the other day for something I was working on. And so I used ChatGPT to help me write a proposal, about 20-page proposal in like an hour. And probably would have took me maybe a day to write. I did it in an hour. And it helped me with the research. And I was like, oh, wow, this is actually pretty good. But let me see, actually, I need to log back into mine. But what's really useful if you set up your prompt, and I can show you some examples once we're done, but you can set up, all right, just log out. Try and get it to, there we go. Let me log back in. But what you can do is you can ask ChatGPT to help you write the business plan, but ask you questions as it's helping you produce it. So then it's actually becoming almost like an assistant to you as you're writing it. So you can say, ChatGPT, help me write a business plan for X, X, and X. I want to give you the topic. The topic is this. Help me ask any questions of me to help me write the best business plan ever. And so it will start creating results, but then it's going to start asking you questions to make it better. So it's going to be like, all right, here's the first results. Did I get this part of it right? No, you didn't. Please modify it this way, but also include more detail in X. It'll rewrite it, and then it'll ask you to proceed. So I'll show you how I had to do that with me to help me complete this proposal. But then I was able to ask it to go back and rewrite a section, or also rewrite the section, but include 3 examples of how we would implement the course. So here, I think it was this one. So you can see even here in this section of it, I started asking it. So in this part of the proposal, I'll close this part out. I was working on the financials for it. And so I did a quick version of like the organizational chart. I was like, here's the number of company, or here's the employees, here's our like revenue. And I knew the math was wrong. So I was like, ChatGPT, fix the math. But also if I missed anything if I missed any roles for this proposal, include those roles. So it actually called out 2 roles I didn't think about, because I had talked about it in an earlier part of the plan, but then it was like, oh, you forgot about the role for mentors. and for this role, and that's the cost for them would be this. And so it actually fixed part of my financials for including roles I forgot, but also rewrote the math and changed the projections of revenue for the proposal. I was like, okay, thank you, appreciate it. Now let's move on. And that's how you can use it to kind of work through it. And so you can see here, this is where I think I cut and paste. Oh, I realized my budget doesn't include reflecting paying the students for their time and working, and then update the budget to reflect that. And so then I gave it my budget, but I told it to update the budget to reflect paying the students a stipend for what they were doing. So I went back and rewrote that part of the financials, but then I realized like it also figured out that I needed to change my projection of revenue because we were doing other things. And that's kind of the beauty of these tools is if you ask it to assist you versus just telling it to spit out stuff, you can ask it questions, it can give you things back and you can kind of iterate together. I call it like co-working with AI. You can use it almost like an assistant to help you work through a problem. Yeah.
So you're using very like dialogue.
Yeah.
Please, like, does it like that better? Or does it like?
I just, I'm Southern, so I still say please. So. Yeah.
Can you just write, forgot pay for students?
Yeah, you can do that too. Yeah, you can do it. I think it's, I don't know, that's just, you can just be very direct, but also the other thing is the more detail as well as the more thought you give it to the prompt does get better results. So sometimes me being more detailed helps it understand the line of thinking that I want it to go through. And so I think exactly. So even at the beginning, I told it, hey, I'm looking for a professional tone proposal. I need to be thoughtful. This is for a private partnership. So I needed to be high in detail. Like I gave it the context at the beginning. So then, I didn't need to go back and tell it this wasn't for like a fun thing. I needed to be very business appropriate, very formal, and that it needs to be as detailed as possible in all the outputs that it creates. Okay. And so, yeah, it helped me to put together this very detailed proposal. And even there's parts where I needed it to, so this was particularly for this project in Detroit. I was like, help me find partners that would be appropriate. So it went and did stuff so this part you have to be careful of because it's AI, there's a thing called hallucination. It's really that because it's AI, it's never going to not give you an answer, it will always give you an answer. And because of that, it will sometimes make up an answer to be able to give you the answer, particularly when you're asking for factual things. So it's more about if you're asking for, is there a school in Detroit that has 10 kids? And if you're asking like this very minute, very detailed thing, it will probably either do two things. It will not answer at all, or it'll give you an answer, but it may be slightly off. Maybe there is an elementary school in Detroit, but it doesn't completely qualify, but it will just like, its goal is to give results. And so you have to.
So when that happens, what do? You go over it and then you correct those information yourself in the proposal?
Things that are like factual. So when it's just content, it's content. So like our script for like make it fun, that's fine. There's no factual information in it, but there's other things I'm asking it to create. It's referencing things in the real world, cities, places, books. You got to make sure the book actually exists sometimes.
So you have to go in
Yeah.
and look at what it says and then
Yeah.
go do your research to find out the verify it.
The other things, there are other tools like ChatGPT that have access to the internet. So when it does results that are like, here's a list of 10 books, it will actually link to where the book is. So you actually can.
So what's the name of one of those?
So
Give an example of one or two.
one is, so you can, like the one example, the Microsoft Edge browser, because it uses the Microsoft Edge browser, it has access to the internet. So when it gives you back a list of books, it's going to give you a link to where you can buy the book, but also find the book.
Okay.
So then you know the book is a real book. It's not just something that AI made up.
Correct.
Also, one's called perplexity.ai. That one's free, but it works in a very similar way where when it does the searches, it gives you the reference to where this thing was when the AI generates the results. So it'll say, here's 10 books on health and wellness. you can make sure they're all real because you can click the link and actually see the book is a real thing. So, but that is still one of the things you do have to be wary of with these tools when you're asking for facts. That if you're just using ChatGPT, you need to go check if that thing's real,
Right.
or you need to use a tool that has access to the internet that will show you the reference to the thing it's referring to.
Yes.
So, what do you think of this chat?
ChatGPT's been around, the company OpenAI has been around for 3 to 4 years. And it's been funded by a lot of Facebooks and all those groups, because before it was just a organization or foundation turned into a business. But OpenAI has been around for 3 to 4 years, but ChatGPT, the product, has been out since like November, and it's like the fastest growing thing since sliced bread, I guess.
I don't promise I do that. You know,
Yes, I did like a video that's like the basics of using ChatGPT, so I can share that link around at the end, as well as, honestly, I was telling someone you can go to YouTube University and you'll learn everything you need to. Honestly, particularly because it's such a hot topic, you can go on YouTube and you'll find an endless number of people who have created videos on, here's in 10 minutes, learn how to use ChatGPT. Here, you know,
right.
if you want to use ChatGPT for real estate, here's a YouTube video on ChatGPT for real estate.
Do you think that one day they can have all in one like hub, like where everything's, you know, where you could just go to one place and just do everything there instead of having to go this link, that link?
I think what's going to be interesting is like, if you work for a company that uses Google or Microsoft, they're already starting to incorporate AI into those tools. So if you're working at a company, at some point your company will get hip to this stuff and they will allow some version of it. But both Google and Microsoft are already incorporating AI into Microsoft Word, Google Docs, all those things that you'll be able to use it at work. So eventually it's going to take some time, but you'll be able to pretty much in every tool have some form of AI to help you do it. So it will be part of every tool.
Do you really think that this would potentially take over many jobs in the future or near future, I should say? Because I mean,
yes,
I've seen
yes
it.
and no.
Yeah.
I think for lazy companies, it will take jobs. Yeah.
An example, I know I read somewhere where I think one of those hotlines, you know, like help people who were like contemplating suicide and or depressed or something like that. And they fired their people and decided to use that ChatGPT stuff, right?
Yeah.
The AI stuff. But what they found is that the AI, when people were calling in, the AI was making those persons even more depressed. And so they had to quickly shut it down.
Yeah.
So I don't see it in that type of arena, but maybe like, you know, when you talk about stats and stuff like that, and I can see it replacing a lot of jobs.
Yeah, honestly, there's the strike, the writer strike and the
Yes.
actor strike.
Yeah, because they see
A large part of that is their resistance to the actors having their voices and likenesses using AI to generate in the future. Exactly. So there's definitely over the next year or two, there's going to be this big fight between employees and companies and where AI starts and stops.
Yeah.
But I think it should settle, which has become AI assisted work versus AI replacing people.
Right.
Whereas like.
But this is the thing, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess we can see it as an assistant, right? But the employees, right, and employers, right, they might see it as, hey, I don't need all of this labor, right?
Yeah.
So I can get rid of them and use this machine or this intelligence.
And that's where I think it's more on the leadership of the company, because even for me, I have team members, and for me, it's not that I want to have less, I want to have more employees who know how to use these tools.
Right.
Because one person know how to use these tools like 20. So more for me is like, now that I'm hiring people, I want to hire people who know how to use these tools because they're better than someone who does not know how to use these tools. So I think even for everyone in this class, I think if you knowing AI gives you a leverage in your company, be like, hey, I know these tools, I can do more than Jan can do because I can do like 20 reports. Jan can only do one a day. I can do 20.
So do
So
you
now
think-
it's like, that's my advantage in
Do
the
you think-
workplace.
Do you think when the dust settles, we'll come to that, crossroad where, or middle ground where, employers will see it like as a benefit to have employees and then have this tool as an assistant to.
Yeah.
to those-
Honestly, that's the Chick-fil-A model. Because Chick-fil-A is very good at customer service,
Yes,
but they're very good at technology.
Yeah.
And so Chick-fil-A knows how to merge having automation and mobile apps where I can order in advance. And so you can merge good human customer service, but good technology to help operations.
Right.
And I think that's where you combine the two together, because I wouldn't want to go to Chick-fil-A and talk to the robot, because I've always enjoyed the customer service you get with Chick-fil-A. And the people and the experience, and everyone has a good smile and everyone, and that's what you go for Chick-fil-A for versus a McDonald's or Wendy's. Like,
Right.
the experience will be good
Yeah,
every time I go.
McDonald's machine.
Yeah.
You go in there, you have this.
Yeah,
you go inside.
McDonald's is a real estate
Yeah.
business that
Right.
pumps out food.
Right.
Thanks for saying.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you said, okay, well, I could do 20 reports versus this person. Like, it's not like, I understand that. I think you want to make it so that it's efficient,
Yeah,
right? But you also don't want to overproduce. Like, so if she's gonna produce 20 reports, then she should be only working a 4-hour day, not an 8 hour.
Yeah.
Right? Well, how is this going to be adjusted, like, just for work-life balance?
Right.
Because we can't just be expecting just because now AI is a system to produce even more
So-
amount, so people can be more.
So that leads me to my question. So would that change the way in which we work, like the hours in which we work? Because, in some countries, people are working 3 days,
Yeah.
4 days. So in America, would it change that, like instead of us working 5 days or 7 days, depending on your job, right, occupation? Would it change it to like 3 days and then, or even hours? I mean, would that, and then will we be compensated like for the hours,
Yeah.
in terms of how we produce that?
yeah, because I think that's where it's, in the end of the day, I think it still falls on how the business and the executives use these tools. Because even for my own company, I don't make people work more hours, but now we can get more stuff done. It's like, we don't do meetings on Mondays and Fridays now, or we can have the times that it took us to do like the same report, we can do in hours versus days. So now we can be like, we can reduce the time it takes for us to get things done for our clients. So that makes all of us more money. Because now we can do things more faster and more efficiently. But it's not for me to be like, oh, now we got to work 20 hours a day. Because now you can crank out more work. It's more about, oh, we can do more quality. We can produce more for our clients. We can provide more service for our clients that we couldn't provide before. And we all make more money because now the person who can only do content can now do pictures. Because now they can create their own images. And now the person who couldn't do video can now do video. And now they can do more skills.
Right.
And maybe they can become their own project manager. And now you can take on a whole project on your own because now you have more skills than you had before. But I think it comes down to how the company utilizes these tools.
And the
And, yeah.
mindset of those who are in charge.
Exactly.
Because if they have like, if they don't have a good leadership frame.
Exactly. They'll be like, oh, we need to rid of everyone. We can make more money. Like, yeah.
And then the old school thinking as well. I mean, we would have to also look at that.
So yeah, end of the day, it comes down to the company and how they see this stuff. If you're McDonald's, they're like, cool, we need less people. We can make more money. And we don't need people. We can, and I think McDonald's already experimenting on like humanless
Yes.
McDonald's,
They
where
are.
it's, there's no people in it. The robots flip the burgers and the robots take the orders. You know?
I'll stop.
Yeah. And so, but that's, their business is just selling burgers. They don't really care about the people inside of it. They don't actually want people to come inside of McDonald's anymore. They'd rather just buy the burgers and keep going. And so that's why they don't, and that's where it's about the business. For Chick-fil-A, it's about the experience. They want you inside. They want you playing. They want you hanging out. They have family night. You have balloons there. So it's about the culture of the business and how they see these technologies being incorporated into it versus it. And it comes down to that.
So then, I mean, then in the future, then it'll come down to, okay, who's doing the right thing with this AI, the technology. Because if they're only going, if the companies are only going this way and we want machineries or the technology and not want, people to work with them or humans to work with them, then they're gonna lose out because people need to work.
Yeah.
And if they don't work, how are you gonna get money to support your business? So-
There's going to be an arc to this, which is people are going to overuse AI.
Mhm.
And then this is because I'm in this space. The long game for me is that people will appreciate humans
Yeah.
even more.
Right.
So like coming to an event like this is going to be even more expensive because I can have the AI version of it and it's super cheap,
Right.
or I'll pay the premium to interact with humans, and that's
Right.
even more of a premium
Right.
offering. And so there will be this kind of interesting pendulum of like, you can get the super, yeah, exactly. So maybe you want to go to like, maybe you'll go the extra mile to the McDonald's where there's real people versus the
Right.
McDonald's that
Right.
there's no people, but it's super cheap. And maybe I want the super cheap version.
I'm saying that the business that only have the AI technology,
Yeah.
and no human, is gonna lose out eventually.
Exactly.
I mean, if you look at it, eventually, like, people would work and start going there, but if they, like you say, if no socialization is happening, people are gonna leave that place and go where they can find that socialization. And so that business is gonna lose out, and so they gotta really think about just going strictly AI.
Exactly. The pendulum will always, markets and humans will always balance
Yeah.
itself out. So
Yeah,
you can only, like with COVID, you can only do so many Zoom calls until like I need people, and like it's gonna
For real.
slide back the other way. And so there will always be balance. And so yeah, if you go too heavy AI, some companies will pay the price because they will lose the human experience that people are looking for, and they'll pay the cost of that too. So they made money by being more efficient, but they lost because
right.
people lost the human connection with their brand or company, and now they don't stand out anymore. You're just an efficient robot.
And that's what a lot of companies have to look
Yeah, so
when they do go, if they go in that route.
exactly. So that's where it's just, it has to be AI assisted work is probably the right balance versus like,
So,
oh, we're gonna replace a whole department.
right, so why don't they make legislation saying that?
Yeah, Europe will take care of that, but the US is always will be behind. It will require something really bad happening for then, yeah, something really bad will have to happen for the US government to come up with really productive AI rules.
To me, if they don't come up now, I mean, it's gonna be too late, because when they try to, you'll have people that, in positions who, will, offset that,
Exactly. It's going to be tough now. I think they're starting, I think the Biden administration's been doing like AI roundtables and trying to figure out basic rules and regulations around AI, but they're not going to do much. It'd probably be more, what they care about is more about AI threats than is about protecting businesses and jobs. It's more about making sure AI doesn't break the internet or break the country versus breaking jobs. So I think even if the regulation they create will be more about big problems with AI versus the everyday practical. Exactly. So it's going to be interesting how it all plays out over the next year or two. I think you had a question. Yeah. Yeah. But no, this is all great points because there's good and bad that comes with AI. And I think a big part of it is how we use it. So there's very productive ways we're using it now. There's people out there who are using it for very bad ways. And so it's going to be interesting the next few years, how as humans, we start using these tools and how it benefits us or harms us. But I think it's going to be interesting how regulations, governments, companies all figure out how to implement these tools and how that impacts all of us. Yeah.
So you mentioned to be careful to bring us back to the hallucinations for false things. You said perplexity AI is one option.
Yeah.
Can you tell ChatGPT to format this in ABA? And would that get around that again?
Yes, you can. That actually helps, but because it's ChatGPT, it doesn't have access to the internet, so it wouldn't be able to go off and give you a link to a thing. So you would still need a tool like ChatGPT that had access to the internet that could do it in that format and then give you the references. And like Perplexity and even Microsoft Edge by default, when it gives you the results, it gives you at the end of it, the links to all the sources that created it. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely, if you're doing anything that's like research, I would move away from ChatGPT and use a tool that has access to the internet that can give you references, just because if you're worried about it hallucinating or generating results that aren't really, that exist, which is, it can definitely do. You want to be able to go back and click a link and be like, is this thing real? And be able to verify the information again.
I know I saw an example with a lawyer who. used
Yes, the lawyer got in
ChatGPT,
trouble, yeah.
And he got in trouble, real trouble, because it produced fake,
It cited fake cases that didn't
cases,
exist, yeah. And that's the trouble with it, is that he didn't go back and go through and make sure all the things that was referencing were real things. There's things that you can do as people who build these things that limit the amount of, there's things to do to reduce the hallucination, but there's still, because it's AI and all it is doing is predicting words, it's not looking to verify, it's just saying, you asked me something, so I'm going to put together a whole bunch of words that match what you're asking me to produce. It's not really, there's things that you can do to add to the AI to reinforce the trustworthiness of the results that can be added on, but many of these tools, that's additional features or other things that you need to add to get that result.
And if by paying more money, or if that gives them money, saying that's what they should.
There's just other tools that are built for those types of use cases. For ChatGPT is for general uses. So it's not really used for that, but if you pay for the upgraded version, there's plugins. And so I think that's where they're creating a space where other people can add on features. So you can use these plugins, maybe there's a couple of plugins for research. And so it'll take the skills and the power of their chat tool, but then use their logic around doing research and connecting it to the internet to make sure it like creates good results, but also uses the power of their language model to create all the text.
Let me,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing. Can you tell me, and I don't know if I'm missing, so chat generative pre-trained.
General pre-trained, oh gosh, I'm forgetting the last T. It may be transformer, I'm forgetting what the T stands for. Yeah, but it is, for the purpose of OpenAI, it's been trained on general knowledge. So that's really what the G is meant to represent, is that it's general knowledge. So in the future, there's other tools that are trained on specific industries. And that's to the topic we were talking about before. There's some tools that are trained on medical. There's some tools that are trained on very specific knowledge that goes even deeper than a tool like ChatGPT. And that's where, if you're looking to do certain things, there are now tools that are like, oh, if I need to do a research paper, there are now tools that are built specifically to work like ChatGPT, but to produce results like an academic paper.
Right.
Because it's been trained on how academic papers are written, how they should be notated, and it structures the results to look like an academic paper. So there's a lot of different tools. There's more tools like ChatGPT coming out that if you're looking for an AI that maps to something you're looking for, there's like ones now for medical. We're working on one on medical. If you're looking for like a social media manager, there's one that's built just for social media, and it's built to handle all the trends. And so it's built specifically for creating content that trends. And so there's all these new AIs out there.
I just checked this one for correctly.
Exactly. So that's kind of the next big boom, is like, and if everyone's entrepreneurs here, if you're in a certain business and a very unique business, and I think a lot of the more practical businesses like plumbing and electrical or things like that aren't sexy will be the most attractive places to build AI for, just because those are ones that kind of get looked over by the tech bros. They don't look at the more practical things that people need every single day. They look for the sexy stuff. But that's where I think some of the real opportunities are, in the like very traditional brick and mortar kind of jobs, and making those easier. I think I saw a question.
Here's the maximum. Words or letters, whatever they talk to, let's say, if you that with the food,
Yes, so there are ChatGPT has a limit. It can probably handle up to about 1.5 pages, almost 2 pages of text, give or take. But there's other tools like Anthropic that can take over, it can handle like 100-page paper. You can upload 100 pages, maybe a little more now, because I think they expanded their context window, or the amount of words they can take in at one time to generate results. So that one's, Anthropic just released another version last week that expanded how much text it can handle at once.
Is that free?
That Anthropic is free. So actually I can pull it up. It's called Claude Anthropic. Or Claude 2 is the one they just released, I think last week. And I tried it the other day because I wrote, I took the paper I was working on, or that proposal I was working on. Or actually, it was another client thing. It was like a big report. We had like a 30-page report. And I was like, I need you to like summarize a couple of things on it. So you can, it's called Claude.ai. So that's CLAUDE.ai. So with this one, what's nice is you can either copy and paste. So if you have like a huge document, you can copy and paste it, or you can actually attach the documents to the chat. So actually, I'll do that now. Let's see if I have a document word. So yeah, I'll do this one. So I can upload the document and then I'll ask it, this document is probably like 30 pages. Can you summarize? So now it's going to scan the documents, and then based upon it scanning the document, it's going to produce a summary of it. Yeah. And then now that it created results, I can ask it to edit, or I can ask it to, with Anthropic, but depending on how long it is, it probably could rewrite the whole thing. But I would probably, if you're looking for really good results, I'll probably go have it like, hey, let's rewrite the first chapter, and kind of working with the AI, rewrite sections at a time. Having it to rewrite the whole thing at one time, you'll probably get blah results. But if you do it kind of chapter by chapter, you'll probably end up getting better results, or kind of, page by page, you probably get better results. But yeah, this was me uploading it, and now I just created a summary of this proposal by uploading the entire document.
This one said this, just uploading the document.
Yeah.
Make sure they show. What is the, well, I guess the website for like one such for academia?
Yeah, that one. So what are you looking to do with it?
No, I mean like research and stuff like that.
Oh, if you're looking for research,
Yeah, like to fine tune like an article, like you have written, stuff like that.
yeah. So there's where is it? Purpose. I may have it. So this is the one I mentioned, perplexity.ai. But yeah, this one, if you're looking, say, research poems and Baltimore. So this one kind of takes advantage of having access to the internet, but you'll see it works differently. ChatGPT, you'll see it's creating results, but then giving me links.
So the Claude one, let's say you have an article, you want to upload it and make sure it's sound or whatever, you can go to the Claude one and upload it, and then you'll give you, I guess, advice or whatever.
Yeah, once you've uploaded, you can now basically chat with that document.
Okay.
So now you can say, can you summarize it? Tell me what are the 10 most important points of this thing?
Okay.
Or help me rewrite the entire document chapter by chapter. Or once it's learned the document, then you can start asking things of it to do something with the documents learned. Yeah. Yeah.
One of the sites, I think it was. And so, I guess, is this going to be something that, younger people like Britain's school, or there's going to be some, with the problem, I mean, it's great for businesses. But what about a young for learning how to write?
Yeah.
This
Yeah, I think it's same kind of principle for businesses, kind of work for teachers, and I'm looking to collaborate with the teacher to talk about this, which is, yes, students will always look for an out to do things, but with my son, we've been starting to use AI because he's 8. By the time he's ready to start working, AI will be part of what he does.
Yes.
So the skill that he needs to learn is how to prompt AI appropriately. So I think it's less of let's keep kids away from it. We should be
Right.
teaching them appropriate ways to use them and then use it as a supplement. So like for him, in the example we're gonna get to today, he created a podcast. My son at 8 created a podcast. So we sat down, he's like, tell me your ideas. So like we sat down, we worked on ChatGPT. We came up with the idea about zombies. And so he gave me the whole plot line. I didn't give him anything. I just said, we sat down, I wrote the plot line down as he was talking. I just let him be creative. So he gave me the plot. I was like, hey, we gotta change the plot. We gotta throw a surprise in there. So he came up with the surprise. And so we generated the script. And then he liked it. I was like, cool, let's put it up. So I was like, you gotta go to the website. And so I taught him the process of actually creating it. So he uploaded it. He started playing with how the voices came out. And then he liked it and he was like, cool, now we're going to go and create the images. So he started creating the images. So he had to learn how to prompt the AI. So he had to like, okay, so I want to tell it to do zombies, but the zombies need to be green and have the kids running from the zombies. He's like, oh, I don't really like it. So he had to rewrite the prompt again. And so he's learning prompt engineering, which would be a job by the time he's, graduating high school. But he would be trained on how to prompt AI, probably more than most kids his age, because I've been showing him now how to use the tools, but how to use them effectively. But then I can also teach him, here's how not to use the tool. You're not going to be using it for homework, but here's the appropriate, maybe use it for research. Maybe it helps you find a couple of links, but you're not going to use it to write the paper. But I think that's where we can use it, because you can't keep the kids away from it, but we can teach them how to use it, when it's appropriate to use it, how to use it in the effective ways that it should be done. And so then they're old enough, they are using AI appropriately when they become adults, because these tools won't be going away. But again, yeah, a lot of kids are just like cut and paste and doing reports. They're going to do that, and they would do that even without AI. They'll get the copy of a report from another kid. They just had to do it by hand. Now they can do it by just cutting and pasting into a text like that. So kids will cheat. Kids will always cheat, but you're not going to get rid of that. But the part is like, you have to teach them the reason why cheating is ineffective and what you can get out of doing it the right. And I think that's what we can do with these tools. Yeah. I think that was a long answer. Yeah. Yeah. All right, cool. Any others? I thought this is good because I know I probably glossed over like, is AI good or bad? And then we should have talked about that from the beginning. But all right, cool. So let's go into. So the next thing I wanted to cover, which was creating artwork. And so what I would like to show, I'll show you the end result first, and then we'll work backwards.
Okay.
So the end results here, once my computer loads. I'll show you here in a second, because there's a couple of different options, but whenever this loads here, I'll give it a second. But the end result is I created some artwork, and then I put the artwork in a tool that allows me to quickly sell it. So I'm going to kind of show you that workflow, but the goal is that you can use these tools. And the other thing to kind of highlight, pretty much all the AI generation tools, and actually it's probably useful to even explain how they do what they do. So let me pull up this while that screen's loading. You're able to take a text prompt. So I can say, actually, this would be good to do while I'm setting it up. You want to go to dreamlike.art to create just a free account. Dreamart.art. Dreamlike.art. Oh, I cannot talk.
That art.
.art. A-R-T. I wish I can let me. Dreamlike. Yeah. Actually, I'll put it in. Actually, I'll pull up the website so you know what it looks like. So you want to go, this is what the website should look like. Dreamlike.art. That's what you're looking for. Did we find it? All right, cool. Yeah, so you want to create a free account. And then once you're in, all right, so once you're in, so I explained it. So the way these AI generative image creators work, they've similar to like ChatGPT, where they've trained their tool on a whole bunch of text. They did the similar process, but with images. So they had humans go across the internet and take a picture. So if it's a picture of a dog, they said, this is a dog, the dog's running through a forest. So a human labeled that image saying, this is a dog, they're running through the forest, the grass is green. They just did that millions of times over images. So then whenever you type in text that says dog running through trees, it's like, oh, cool, I've seen an image of a dog running through trees. I'll create an image like that, because the AI has been trained on what an image of a dog running through trees looks like. So when you do this tool, actually, I'll do dog running through trees. And so it's going to take its knowledge of dogs, trees, grass, and any images that look like dogs running through trees and generate an image based upon its knowledge of dogs, trees, grass. And so that's basically how all these image text to image tools work, is that it has a library information about what a dog, and there you go. So here's my dog running through trees came out to look like.
That's from Dreamlike.
Yes, so dreamlike.art.
So where did you put that at?
Yes, so where it says prompt, yeah.
Yeah, it right there. It's right there.
Yeah, it's kind of this, the interface is a little hard to see because there's a lot of things happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not as user friendly, but it produces really good results. So I'll walk you through, actually, I'll start all the way from the top, but I want to give you a little idea of how these tools work. Because the other part of this tool, it is still creating a unique piece of artwork, but it is inspired by the things that these tools have found across the internet. And so that tends to be the biggest knock against AI generated art, is that it's not completely original, but it is original because it wraps all these different concepts together and creates something new, but it is trained on pictures that it's found across the internet. So it's been trained on Picasso because they've uploaded Picasso and they said, this is a certain style of art. It looks a certain way. It's a certain style of painting. And so when you say, do this tree, running through trees in the style of Banksy, which is like a graffiti artist guy, then I was going to create the art, but in a style of a certain artist. And so that's what causes a lot of the angst around these tools, is that now it's creating my dogs running through trees, but it looks like the style of the graffiti artist. And so, but that's my dog running through trees, but in style of looking like graffiti.
Very nice.
Yeah, we can do it in anime too, in the style of anime.
See that.
You can, and particularly with this tool, you can actually,
Yeah.
so you see here underneath the prompt, you can go to initial image, and that's where you can upload your own image as well. So that's right below where it says prompts. I'm going to try to. So it says prompt here. And then there's one thing that I've already done that you have, if you just loaded it, is, let me go back here. I may have, let's see here. Yeah, you should have the prompt here for your text. upload your image. And then the other thing that you see here is a negative prompt. The negative prompt is what you want the AI not to include in the image. So I don't want it to be poorly drawn. I don't want it to be ugly, blurry, or other things. So you can, that's a more advanced feature, but once you start using this a lot, you maybe you're doing like, doing the picture of dogs, but maybe I don't want the trees in it. So maybe in the negative prompt, I'll say no trees, or trees is a negative prompt. So you don't really need negative prompt right now. That's if you want to start getting really fancy or advanced to start really telling the AI what to not to include in the picture. But really all you need to do is in this prompt section, type in what you want, and then it will generate an image based upon what you type. And then to get really great results, you can say dog running through trees, but in watercolors. Dog running through trees, but using charcoal. Or dog running through trees, but in 3D, looking like a Disney Pixar movie. And it will now create the dog running through trees, but now it looks like a Disney movie.
So all of these factors, that's why
Yeah. Yeah, so you can, these are pretty fun to play with. There's another one called Midjourney. They just recently removed their free tier. And so that's why I had to pivot because now Midjourney is probably one of the best tools for generating art. I will showcase that one just for those who are interested. But Midjourney, yeah. And that one requires, if you have a teenager, it's on Discord, is the way that you interact with it. But your teenager can get you on Discord if you have one. Yeah. Yeah, so that one actually, so don't want to use them all up too fast. So there it is, the way that many of these image generation tools work is that each time you create an image, it's like a credit. So if you use it so many times, you're like going through all your free credits. So
it's from a month
yeah, that's part of their business model. If you really like it, you use it, but you're charged by how much you use it.
It's per month.
Or you can just buy credits, or I think you can subscribe monthly.
But Midjourney is the one you said.
Yeah, Midjourney is the one that I use a lot, and it creates really great results.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the one with Midjourney is a little bit more of a learning curve because for those who aren't comfortable using Discord, you have to interact with their AI inside of Discord, which is a messaging platform. And then you send requests to the AI bots inside of the Discord channel. So it's a little bit more of a learning curve if you're not familiar with Discord or using that tool, but you get better results. So this is my dog here. And then I think, yeah, this is some of the projects we did on Wednesday. So you can see Snoopy. I think this is, and then I think this is one idea of one the students came up with. And then this is my intern. He was doing something in here. I don't know what he was doing.
So you saying people create images from this and put it on the t-shirt?
Yes. And so our project today is you can start using this tool today and just pick anything you want to create. But now I'm going to show you once you create it, that then you can easily put that in tools where you can sell your t-shirt or even sell it as art for yourself.
How do we get to the Midjourney?
Yes, the Midjourney one, it's a little bit of a process to do. If you're up for it, I can show you. But this dreamlike art is probably the easiest one because you don't need to download Discord and you don't need to like figure out how to use Discord for the first time. This is probably, even though there's a bunch of inputs, it's probably the easiest one compared to Midjourney, because Midjourney, you'll need to learn, there's certain little variables that you add at the end of your text prompt to then say, I want a landscape or I want a portrait. And it's almost like coding. But if you watch a couple of YouTube videos, you can be pretty dangerous. But yeah, if you want to watch YouTube, it's actually really great because that's the one I've done with my son, and we'll be sitting in the lobby somewhere and he'll be like, oh, I want to create some stuff. And he'll get on my phone and he'll just start doing text prompts and creating like anime characters while we're sitting in like a lobby somewhere.
Wow.
So yeah, so if you want to, I would say for those who are following along, go to dreamlike.art and create your artwork. So then we can now stick your artwork on a t-shirt. Yeah, you can kind of create logos. So what the limitations that AI or many of the AI, Midjourney is actually the one leading, is text is usually pretty bad, but the AI models are getting really good now or starting to get better at that. You'll see in most cases, if you ask for like the Coca-Cola logo, it's just gonna be a bunch of squiggly lines. But some of the latest Midjourney model is starting to nail the problem with text generation. So then you can actually start creating logos. But right now, the way that I tend to do it is you can create the logo mark. So maybe you'll say, create a logo that is in the spirit of, or create a logo that's in the spirit of a reindeer and make it a vector image. Do not include text. I just want the logo mark, and it'll create the like reindeer like thing, and you can export that and just put some text to it and call it a logo. So that's kind of the hack now until these tools are good at handling the text part. But for now, you can just probably create the little logo part without needing to hire a designer. Yeah.
The text looks, I don't know what language is.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, like I'll do that here. Like I'll do that in Midjourney just because it will probably get better results. Create a logo of a dog vector in style of vector art. Midjourney is $7 to $9 a month. I've used a little bit. I'm so spoiled with Midjourney. Like, out of all their tools, there's probably there. I'll share it with you, but there's a video on YouTube of a guy that went through like 20 AI generation tools, free ones, paid ones, and so you can kind of see there. But there's Stable Diffusion, which is one of the big players in image generation, and Midjourney are the two best ones that create the best quality. But there's a bunch of other ones, Adobe Firefly, Canva, that are free, that produce good results, but they won't be, probably may not be as good as this. Oops, I typed in God, I didn't even do that, but I guess that works. But yeah, there we go. Let's create a logo. If I can, maybe it's God hardware, I don't know. But now it's created the logo mark that I can now take and then put text around it. So that's how you can focus and if you wanted to create a logo, you can use this tool to like create logos or inspire designs for your logo. But then you'll probably need another tool to like create the text part of your logo, at least for now. And some of these tools are getting better with handling the text. So yeah, there we go. There's our logo. Those could be pretty cool. Maybe had like an Aquaman company or something that could be. But yeah, so you can maybe download this and put some text next to it. And now you have the logo for your business. So if you have a business, it's probably, you can use a tool like this to kind of help do some of the brainstorming to help get the ideas around your business going. Create a logo. I meant to say dog, but I put God in the style of vector art, flat and flat. Flat, which meant I didn't want it to be like 3D or something else. I wanted it to like be something I could put on a piece of paper.
So Marcus, you create a logo that someone already had, but that you know, so you won't give it somebody else's process.
So this thing here exists nowhere else, because what it does is it takes a whole bunch of information it has about what we think God looks like. And that's a whole nother story why it may be a pale skinned man, but that's a whole different conversation. But that's where the bias kicks in. But anyhow, but it takes this understanding of whatever you ask for, it generates it. So it's completely new. It's not taking an image of something and like changing it around. It's uniquely creating an image based upon the information it has. So no one else would have this image but me. There's no way of it never reproduces the same thing. Even if if I put that same prompt in again, I won't get the same image. It's going to create 4 completely different images. So that's the tricky part. Because it's generative, it's not going to like change, it's going to change the entire thing. So if you tell it to change the hair to green, it will generate brand new images that then have green hair. It won't create it. There's other tools that you could change the hair, but that's another, there's tools like Adobe has where you can take an image and you can highlight the hair and just say, make this hair green, and it will use the AI to modify the hair. But that's a different tool, but yes, it's called Adobe InPainting, where you can actually highlight parts of the image and then have the AI modify it for you. But in this particular tools and most of these generative tools, if I were to say green hair here, it would actually generate a new set of artwork. So if I do that here, image, let's see, if I say green hair, I guess we're going to make more gods. Actually, I should have said, so now it's going to, so with all these tools, it takes a little bit of time, around 30 seconds or so, but it'll go through a process of generating the art. So that's the AI going to its database, finding references to the thing that I've asked for. And then you can actually see it starting to formulate the image and using its AI to start generating the image. And that's the same thing with dream.art. It does the same process. It takes your prompts and it starts going through its database, looking for things like what you're asking for, and then generating an image based upon it. So let's take a look at our green haired god who's being generated. And I'll take this logo because actually maybe I think one of these would be great examples for our t-shirt idea. I'm going to take this guy once he's done, and we're going to put it on a t-shirt. Actually, yeah. It came out pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm just going to download this one so then we can go to the next step. But
Okay.
if any, you can use Dream Art because it does the exact same thing. I'll take one of these that got created. Maybe people love dogs, so maybe it'd be great, great thing to sell. So in Dream Art, you can just click download. So we're just going to download the dog because maybe I want to make some artwork with the dog, and I want to put the green guy on the t-shirt. Your copyright, you're good, particularly even for Midjourney. This is actually very good to use these tools right now until they change the rules. Anything you create is yours, period. So you created it, is yours. You have the freedom to use it any way you want to. It is your thing. You can throw on t-shirts, sell it, it is yours. Because it is trained on art styles, if there is ever litigation, because it will come at some point, it's Midjourney who goes to court, not you. So if someone's like, this kind of looks like my artwork, so that's fine, go talk to Midjourney, it's not my problem. And so that's the beauty of using some of these tools, that they do take some of the liability on it. The artwork, this stuff's brand new, so a lot of the rules around this game is still very new. And so there has been some people who like pursued Midjourney and Stable Diffusion and be like, hey, you used my style of art in your model. And a lot of those cases don't work because in the day they're not creating the art that looks like theirs. It's inspired. And you'll say many artists steal from other artists already anyway. Someone creates a really cool dog picture, another artist does it in the same style, but does it on cats. And so a lot of people, they say artists already steal from each other. We're just doing the same thing artists do, but using computers. But that's another thing. But in the day, it is yours. And you're covered to have full rights to do whatever you want with it once it's created. So yes. Yeah, so with all these tools, they like store it. And I think they intentionally do that for a bunch of reasons. One, they can always track who created what image. So if someone does something inappropriate, they can always track that Marcus created this image from this day. So like with Midjourney, there's like a profile page and you can see all the things I've created with Midjourney. And so all of it's stored and saved. And you're able to, and so all the tools does this where all the stuff you create is stored, but also some of the tools have like a community. So all the things you create, other people can see and they can create things like it. So it becomes actually really neat. So things like Midjourney, it's kind of fun to go in the Discord channel because you can see people creating really cool stuff, and then you can take their text prompt and maybe revise it and change it and do something different with it. So Midjourney and all these tools are pretty fun things, and there's big communities now of people who use them and get really good at them and figure out really creative ways to create their text prompts to create really interesting pieces of art or images using it. All right, so let's do our first step here in creating our t-shirt brand. So you want to go to an app called shirt.app. So I'm already logged in. I'm going to show you an example of one so you can see where we're going to go with this. Go shirt.app, and then I'm going to take a white shirt. I'm going to take our green-haired god and stick him on a t-shirt. All right, so I'm going to try to remember where I downloaded him to. Where did I download it? So let me just download it again. You want to share your t-shirt? Like, you may have to just show it, yeah. Actually, let me finish. Let's see, where is, I'll just do my t-shirt. Yes, probably the best thing to do. There's a few other tools that like remove the background. So I can probably go to, actually, if we can do this. Oh, that looks really good. So there's, I can't remember, there's another tool that I use, but I'm having an old person moment, but I just Googled because there's a million of these things now. You can just say AI to remove backgrounds. So there's a lot of AI tools out there. I'm not sure why I can't remember the one that I use often. I think it's Dream something. But honestly, there are so many tools. Canva does it. There's probably a nameless number of tools that if you upload an image, it'll remove the background. So if you have created a piece of artwork that has stuff around it that you don't want on the t-shirt, you can use the like image background removal feature on any AI tool or Canva to remove it. But that was a great question, and I should have thought about having that already up. But yeah, see now, oh, that's great. That worked out really well. So now it removed the white background. So now I could download just the picture of the head and then put that on the t-shirt. So let's give that a shot actually. Oh, that's their hustle. Oh no. But there's definitely some free tools out there. I just kind of Googled one. But yeah.
Good question. Well, artists really like artists stuff. this something that is good for them to like make it download it to AI? Somehow the AI recognizes it. Need that kind of, or I'm even thinking about like even create a community for them, for people to realize, you know, like their art. You know, want to use it as well and how they do it.
Yes, like the one thing you can do, and this has become an interesting debate for some people, but what you can do, particularly with dream-like.art or stable diffusion, you can create your own model, image model. So you can say, if you're an artist already and you got like 20 paintings, you can create your own model that is your paintings, that then other people can create artwork using your style of art. So then you could create your own basically AI app that's like, oh, you want to create art like mine? Go to my app, you know, artist.ai.com, and you can now create artwork using my art style.
Right.
And that could be a whole,
Yeah, but that could be like, okay,
yeah, they can monetize it by then saying, hey, you can create one for free. And if you want to create more using my style, because I'm a popular painter, you got to pay $10.99 a month to make more artwork like that's using my style of art.
right. So
Yeah.
and on this t-shirt, also make posts.
You can make posters. Yeah, exactly. So that's what's cool about shirt.app. You can do artwork, t-shirts, the whole
So
deal.
when you say that, I mean, do you say it where you create the art, or do you say that where he's at now? You say that if you want to use my drawing of my thing, then you have to pay something in there. You say that when you create it.
So you can do similar to like this tool where you run out of credits. So you can do it a very similar way like dreamlike.art where, hey, you can create one for free, you get one credit. And if you want to make more, you got to buy more credits or things like that. So it's usually how a lot of these tools monetize is maybe you get one for free. And then if you want more, you pay for more. Oh, me? Or if she were,
She creates.
if she creates, so if I'm an artist and I'm already creating art, I would build a site just like this, to be honest.
Okay.
I would create a site just like this and say, here's a site that creates a certain style of art. And if you want to use it, it's you get one for free and then
So
you pay for
I
one.
mean, how do you create that? You just get with the tools that they have? I mean, how do you get those stuff?
Yeah, so like for using stable diffusion, there's a method to uploading a bunch of images and training it on your style of art. It's actually not that hard. I mean, there's kids in high school starting to build their own models by uploading the images and then kind of classifying the style and like training the AI on what the style is so it can reproduce it over and over again. But there's kids now on Reddit creating like football, or they create certain styles and images. So all you gotta do is type and it spits out the results that you're looking for because the kids already pre-trained it in a certain style and a look. So all you gotta do is type and it spits out the image. Yeah.
I'm only asking.
Yeah.
The artist, but it's like you can create this and it's kind of like some monetize because he can like sell this to schools.
Yeah.
To like, you know, like art schools, to people, you know, like corporations. who
Right.
wanna,
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
And even
different
if,
stuff.
yeah, and even for him, I'm not a pure artist at heart, but for me, it's like, and that's where in my little Midjourney page, I was like, oh, I'm going to get in the game. And so I started creating, I went on and said, this is my hustle. And I went on Etsy and I was like, I went to their most popular section. So I was like, show me the art that's most popular. And the most popular art in Etsy are women with flowers in their hair. I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to get in the game. So I'm going to create art with women with flowers in their hair and create a whole series of them. So I went in Midjourney and I've been prompting. Now I got like 100 of them. I'm going to probably, I'm going to have to like cut it down to like 20, but then I'm going to create a whole Etsy page. That's kind of the next phase of this is you can use Etsy Printful to then post the images and then use a drop shipping company like Printful to then, oh yeah, yes, yes.
Yes, why?
Or Etsy. So Etsy is a pretty popular crafts or artisan craftsman platform.
Right.
So where you can sell handcrafted stuff, but you can also sell artwork. And so I already have one of them up on Etsy. So if you want to buy it, yeah.
go to, so you're selling this like artwork, not on t-shirts.
Yeah, so for me, I'm selling his artwork.
On canvas.
Yeah, so I started first, so I've already have one, so I'm using shirt.app to sell a t-shirt. So I have a t-shirt version of it. So you can buy a t-shirt of it. So this is where you can start thinking about how you're taking your art. And so now I have a t-shirt of it, so I can go on Instagram, put this t-shirt on Instagram, and he wants to buy it, you can buy it, $35.
I like it.
Yeah. Oh, you are? I got a sale? Okay.
Business now.
So the next one, if you want to go, so the only downside with shirt.app is you can like only sell one at a time, or someone has to pay you and then you have to fulfill it. It's really meant, shirt.app is really meant for you to make your own shirts and then you buy it. And so it's a really fast way. If you really want to just start today, you create your design, you put a picture on Instagram. Yeah, I can print it out. They usually takes about a week and a half for them like print it and ship it. So you can make it your design today, buy it today, wear it, take some pictures of it once you get it, and then if people start wanting to buy it, have them cash app you $45, you pay for it and have it shipped to them. They're pretty good. I should have bought some. I didn't think they're pretty good. It's great because I'll come up with an idea and I'll just be like, design it and then buy it. And then you'll get it. It's usually about a week and a half. They're pretty fast. To just like think of something or like upload a picture and then get it printed is pretty good. So that's like version 1 of creating your t-shirt company, which is use shirt.app to just upload your picture and you buy it, or someone cash apps you, or Venmo, you buy it, you just buy it for them and just put in their shipping information. So that's like step 1 of selling your AI t-shirt company. Step 2 is signing up for Printful. So Printful does drop shipping. I'm not sure if anyone familiar. Yeah. So Printful is the next level up if you want to create a store to sell your t-shirts. So I think I already put one in here. It does take a little, it's going to be more than the time we have left to like go through the whole setup of setting up a Printful. Printful. Yeah. Yeah, print I full or FUL. But you'll see what's nice about using them is they do all the printing and fulfillment. You just sell it. So you go on their tool, you can pick the products you want. So I'll show you the one I've created and we'll go through the process of creating one. But now you see the artwork that I put on my t-shirt now is ready to be purchased as artwork. And it even creates the little person holding my artwork. So they do the mock-ups of it. So you don't need to do any photoshopping to like take the artwork you create and then like have it on a person. They do all of that for you already. So now you can buy this artwork for $13 and I don't do anything. I just sell it, promote it. They print it, ship it, and I get paid once everything is done. And that's drop shipping. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's print, have all your stuff there.
Exactly.
So do they get a percentage?
Yeah, that's the cut. They'll charge you for the t-shirt, which is like $5 or $6.
Okay.
Then they have a fee for printing and fulfilling. And then you say all that cost them $15 or cost me $15 for them to do it. I say the t-shirt's $30, so I make $15.
So you get your money back.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, so exactly.
So you can only sell products that they make for you advertise, like you can't sell other things that you make on that.
No, you can't sell, if you have like she was saying, if you have a Shopify store, if you have another online store tool, you can put your own products, but then you can also create products on Printful and link it to another. Yeah. And Shopify is probably the easiest thing to do because you can create a Shopify store for free or pay $20 a month and then be able to link Printful to it to do all the shipping and fulfillment of the t-shirts or paint work, artwork or posters. You can look here, you can see, you can do backpacks, artwork, hoodies, hats, the whole deal. You can create it all. So we'll go through the process of creating. Let's create a maybe a hat. I haven't tried a hat. So let's do, I'm gonna do a dad cap. And then, huh? Actually, I should have, I'm gonna put some of his artwork on t-shirt. So actually, no, we did do one for the video game he made. We did a t-shirt for his video game. So yeah, I used shirt.app and I created a little art, and he has a hoodie now with this video game logo on it. But I'm gonna upload. So yeah, so here's the image I upload, or I can upload a new one. I can upload my dog from today. So let's take the dog. Let's upload him. And there we go. I probably should like cropped it or something. And this, I guess the style that I picked too, they're embroidering the image on it. So it's, yeah. Oh yeah, that's the limit for, I guess, the embroidery. But yes, that could be a cool hat for dog lovers. So and so now I'll hit save. But once I do that, there's a few steps. Once you put in like your credit card and all that stuff, you're able to start using Printful, but there are a few steps to just create your account. But now you'll see my dog picture now. I have a mock-up of a guy wearing a hat with my dog picture on it. And then I can, if you hit this little link here, I can create a shareable link and I can start selling this hat today. And so that's kind of the beauty of this, where now you can take the AI tool to generate images. To your point, if you're an artist, I'm, becoming a de facto AI artist. I'm going to create a series of pieces. I'm almost done. I'm going to hand select them. I'm going to put them in Printful, put them on Etsy, put the pictures on Pinterest, where people click it on Pinterest. They go link to my store, they'll buy it. And now I'm an AI artist making money.
Website.
You don't have to, like, this link is, honestly, you could probably use Instagram or TikTok. You may not even need a store. You can just link to the products in your Instagram account. So then you don't even have to worry about the store part, because then you just create the link and then let me just open up a new tab, and then I'll just put a link to the t-shirt in my Instagram account, and then you'll sell it that way. So that's what I'm always about execution over planning. So I was just like, hey, create the t-shirt design, do a couple of posts, put a link to it somewhere, if people buy it, then invest the time and effort to make it bigger. But yeah, here, either do the t-shirt.app and just post it. If people want it, be like, DM me, send me a DM, pay me $35 Cash App, you'll have it in 2 weeks. Like, there you go. You're now a t-shirt entrepreneur off a couple of designs. So find something trending, create a couple of t-shirt designs, put it up on Instagram, or if you have your own business, come up with really fun designs around your business idea. Create a couple of designs if people want it. Use Printful or just have them Cash App or Venmo, and there you go. There's other tools. You can send them to a Stripe page, create a Stripe, sign checkout, have them send you $7, and now you have your e-commerce business. So there's different ways that you can make it more professional as there's interest around the stuff that you create. I think you had a question. Okay. Yeah.
So what's the trend you said you go to Spotify?
Oh yeah. So yeah. So what I did since I wanted to find something that was popular, I went to Etsy, and I went. I think where else? I went into artwork, and then I just started looking at what was getting the highest ratings inside of Etsy. So I just kind of sorted by top reviews.
Etsy.
Yeah. And so I was just kind of using Etsy to kind of like, this may be the next project this definitely may be the next little project. Because honestly, this could be another I just didn't even think about this, but even doing something like, because these are customized. So you can have someone send you the picture of the dog, you use the AI tool to like create an image in this style for them, put the name of it, charge them $100 because now it's customized. It really only took you maybe 10 minutes to do.
Right.
And then like, you're off to the races. Yeah. 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 So, but that's one way you can use these AI tools to be able to create revenue. Like we're talking about logos, maybe you do logos. And so you use this tool to create the logo, you add the text, charge people $50, $100 to make logos for them. And now you're creating a kind of logo design business. So there's definitely ways, once you get really good at using the AI art tools, that you can create some form of a business of creating arts. Maybe you can be a social media manager. So now you create all the images for a company. And so you use the tool to create images, and I don't buy stock photos anymore. I just create the image I need for stuff I need for social media or Twitter or whatever it is. And it's exactly what I need because I can make it look exactly the way I want to versus spending $25 to buy a stock photo off a stock photo website. So, yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. That's like in Midjourney. Yeah, or you can do any of the tools, but I know I have ones I've already done before from Midjourney. Yeah, so this is yeah, these are examples here. So that we needed to like come up, the client had a bunch of articles, and so instead of buying stock photos, I think this article was like theft in stores are going up and it's costing businesses a ton of money because of all the theft. And so went into Midjourney, it's like, I need a colorful picture that's editorial, that's colorful, that's about someone stealing from a store. And it created 4 options and download. So now instead of buying a stock photo, I create the exact image that was needed for the article. You do it a couple times or pick one that looks good and then download and stick it in the other. Yeah, or if you have the free account, it's free, or you can, because I use it a lot, I just pay the $7. Yeah.
That's why I was gonna ask you about, I was gonna do my son.
Yep.
This is Midjourney, and did this application.
I would either use dreamlike.art or I would use Midjourney for something like that. Because even I may have one, my son was doing it here. I probably have some Dragon Ball Z, or even this is an example of, let's see, oh, where'd it go? Like here's one I was using for doing video, but that was, again, just typing in a prompt. And
Yeah, almost like.
for this one, it was an inspiring Pixar 3D rendering image of a brown-skinned man, vivid and engaging facial expressions, high-tech office space filled with futuristic gadgets and glowing holographic screens. Exactly, the more detail, the better, because then they don't have, the AI doesn't have to guess, you're giving it exactly what you want it to represent. Yeah.
Nice.
And it's almost, honestly, it's like coding, to be honest. Once you start doing it enough, it really, you're coding the image. You're like, I want it to be in a setting like this. I want 2 people in it, 1 person in it. I want it from the waist up. You're basically, you're an art director. You're an art director. Yeah, that's Midjourney, but you do the same thing in Dreamlike Art, or Dreamlike Art. You do the same thing. You write it in the style. You basically describe in detail what you want the image to look like.
Basically, I was trying to create a platform actually on my website to be able to like do that. Put that images on there and create like a NFT and they can print it out and show you.
Yeah.
But that's like a lot of things. So I'm thinking like, okay, so way for me to start. It's just the brand on Etsy, like you said. Like show you one of myself and show.
Exactly.
For people be like, send your picture in.
Exactly. Because yes, exactly. I would do either using like I would definitely do like Dream, and just to repeat the question, like if you're looking to create your own art or create your own brand, I would use Stable Diffusion and use dreamlike.art to create your model. So you would already maybe you use Dreamlike Art to get the style you're looking for. So now you'll upload like 20 of them, be like, here is my, headshots, cool headshot style, whatever you want to call it. So then whenever you get someone's picture, you just upload it and say, and you type, hey, I want this person to have an expression or whatever scene or detail they wanted in it. You type that in, you upload their picture for their face, say use the image, use this to represent their face, but then change the background and it generates the image, but it's already in the style and already has like, you saw my Midjourney prompt, it had all this extra language and stuff. You won't need to do that because it's already trained on the style. So you don't have to like teach it all the things you need to.
And stable them.
Yeah, so I think probably at some point you'll probably want to move fully into Stable Diffusion. You probably watch a couple of videos. If you go on YouTube, watch a couple of videos, you'll see the process of how to create your own unique image style.
Okay.
And you can probably find a couple of really good videos on YouTube on just like how to do that. Yeah, because then once you create that style, then all you gotta do is upload. You at some point you probably won't need to put a text, any prompts anymore. You just upload a picture, and it will take that picture and put it in that style. Yeah. Yeah, and then you're really not, you don't do anything but upload and cash a check. I guess the cash app transaction.
So suppose somebody would do something like poetry.
Yeah.
They only want to how can they use poetry?
Oh, poetry. I would, depending on if you're looking for ChatGPT to help, I would give it the style of your poetry and the prose and the style that you write. It's like, write a poem using this style, copy and paste it, but create a unique poem, but on this topic. So you can probably, if you want it to be really solid and match your style, you give it like 3 of your poems. You're like, here I'm as a expert poet and the style of Maya Angelou or something like that. You help it really understand the context of how you want it to write. Maybe even take your inspiration, but also I want it to sound like a Thurgood, Frederick Douglass. You can, because part of it of giving it authors that it knows helps it to understand the style of writing that you want it to do. So if you give it the style of writing that it knows from its database, plus you feed it your style of writing, it's going to produce some really good results compared to just saying write a poem. If you just write a poem, it's going to give you something super generic.
No, my son already wrote.
Yeah.
Like he wrote his own.
Yeah.
Original form. So how can he use his own original forms to this?
Yeah, so yeah, I would have him add 3 or 4 of his poems and then say, based upon these 3 poems, write one about going to the beach. And then it will now take his 3 poems that it read about his style to then take his style and generate another poem based upon that. So it's really good at kind of doing look-alike. So take what I gave you, now write something original based upon what I've given you. ChatGPT is really good at doing something. Any other question? I think we're right at 12:30, so I guess we'll answer questions.
Yeah, I just connected with your LinkedIn.
Okay, awesome.
Because I would like to talk to you more, but
Yeah.
I just found. Yeah, and also where did you just, I know you said some of the students stuff that you.
Yes, I will send more links, but if you go to meetup.com, there's a group called AI at Work. Actually, I'll just pull it up, but there's a meetup group that I organize on meetup.com. So there, me and others just do free talks talking about AI all the time. AI at Work, meetup.com. Actually, I guess I should have that up. AI. Yes, actually, I mean, how would that fastest way to make this up? I will.
AI and where
Put this up on the screen so everyone can. Here. Yeah, I'm gonna pull up a little QR code up here. So that you can scan and it'll give you all the information you need. And then Jenna, did you have any additional questions? If not, I will make sure you get the call recording as well as I'll send some additional documents, videos, and links. Yeah.
You use the shirt ad to shirt ad and the printable ad. If you have a press machine, you use those. And
You can export or download all those images, but probably the one thing you will need to do if you're going to press them is you'll probably need to find a tool to upsize the image or upscale it, because usually it generates images that are like meant for the web. So they're not usually big enough on download to be used for like printing on really big things. So you'll probably need to download, and there's a bunch of tools on the internet that help you upscale images. So then you can take an image that was really meant for the web and blow it up to be printable, like a big printable size, and then it still has high quality. So then when you want to press it on T or do something else, it's not like blurry. So you can definitely do that. You'll just need to go like, I'll probably just Google like upscale images. Usually they're AI tools, because what it does when you upscale, it kind of fills in the holes of blurry pictures. But that's what I'll do if you're looking to, that's why I haven't finished my little AI project, art project. So I need to go through and upscale a bunch of the images to be a high enough pixel quality. So when I print it, the pictures aren't blurry. So you need to go to like a site like this, or find a site where they'll probably charge you a couple of dollars, but you can make the pictures big enough that when you print it, the quality is really good. So then when you put it on a t-shirt or want to screen print it, the image is high enough quality that it comes out. So yeah, you'll just need to find. Yeah. Yeah, it would be, honestly, it'd be a lot cheaper if you just buy your own t-shirt and then screen print it, but you'll just need to upscale the image once you download it so it's a high enough quality to do it. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I'll send some other links of just like the basics of ChatGPT, how to do basic prompts and get more out of it, and all the links that we talked about today.
Somebody sending you evaluation, get feedback, and that's for the times. And please, on the way out, help yourself take a couple of so thank you for coming.
Thanks, Jenna, for joining you. I'll follow up and send you more info.